Elvira, her mother, and her younger sister embarked on a journey to a new kingdom driven by Elvira's romantic dreams of marrying Prince Julian, whose poetry she adored. Upon arrival, they met the older man Elvira's mother was set to marry, who also had a stunningly beautiful daughter named Agnes. However, 2 days after the wedding, Agnes's father died from a heart attack. The family's momentary happiness shattered as numerous creditors descended upon the house demanding repayment of the deceased man's significant debts. They threatened to seize the palace-like home and lands if the money wasn't returned immediately. Elvira's mother, who had married for wealth and status, was shocked to discover her new husband was penniless just like her. She bought a few months' time from the creditors but was plunged into worry, realizing her own dwindling savings and the limited marriage prospects for an aging woman. Elvira, seeing her mother's distress, bravely vowed to marry Prince Julian and solve their financial troubles. Elvira's mother was skeptical as her daughter possessed neither the stunning looks nor the widespread appeal to capture a prince's attention. With Elvira as her only marriageable daughter, however, she felt compelled to rely on her. Meanwhile, Agnes, heartbroken by her father's death and the ensuing chaos, sat by his body praying for a resolution to her life's troubles. A few days later, a royal minister delivered a message from the king. A ceremony would be held in 4 months to find a bride for the now eligible Prince Julian. Girls from across the kingdom were invited to register, essentially entering a competition where they had 4 months to perfect themselves. Elvira, determined to win the prince, registered her name alongside Agnes. Knowing her daughter's ordinary appearance was a disadvantage, Elvira's mother spared no expense, or rather promised to pay after the ceremony to transform Elvira. She took her to a plastic surgeon for a complete makeover: eyes, nose, teeth, and breast surgery. The process was torturous. First, the surgeon removed Elvira's braces with a large awkward tool, causing immense pain. In the second session, her nose was cut, the bone shortened, and an iron mask was fixed to reshape it, an agonizing process Elvira endured for the sake of beauty. Alongside the physical transformation, royal grooming was necessary. Elvira, along with Agnes, was enrolled in a school to practice manners and the ball dance. Miss Sophie, the instructor, quickly recognized Agnes's natural grace, pre-existing knowledge of etiquette, superior dancing skills, and beauty, making her the best student. Miss Sophie favored Agnes, placing her in the front row while Elvira was relegated to the back with the less beautiful girls. At home, Agnes pleaded with Elvira's mother to hold a funeral for her father as the body was starting to rot. Elvira's mother coldly refused, stating she needed all her savings for Elvira's training, and insisted the funeral would only happen after Elvira was selected by the prince. Elvira, recognizing the enormous pressure her mother placed on her, began to work harder and slowly moved forward from the back rows. The 4-month training culminated in the announcement of the selected girls. Elvira was shocked to find Agnes's name at the top of the list while hers was at the bottom, a surprise for everyone given she wore a nose bandage that marred her appearance. During the subsequent ball dance practice, Elvira still struggled, and Miss Sophie, in a moment of frustration, pushed her aside, cruelly telling her she was only selected because her mother had bribed the officials. Devastated, Elvira realized her dream was built on deceit, not her own merit. At home, a designer was called to create a gown for Elvira, but he noted her excessive weight due to her large appetite. Elvira's mother immediately put her on a drastic lemon water diet to ensure rapid weight loss. The next day, Miss Sophie conducted private interviews to assess the girls' inner beauty. Agnes again excelled. Speaking with Elvira, Miss Sophie saw the girl's profound struggle for acceptance and her brave persistence despite being ridiculed. Pitying her, Miss Sophie gave Elvira a secret remedy for weight loss: a tapeworm egg in an antidote bottle. Miss Sophie claimed the tapeworm would consume all her food, preventing weight gain, and could be killed later with the antidote after the marriage. Despite her younger sister's warnings about the potential disadvantages, Elvira, desperate to win Julian, swallowed the egg. Prince Julian, out hunting with his friends, made an appearance, rekindling Elvira's dreams. But on the way home, Elvira saw Agnes with their servant. In a fit of jealousy, Elvira reported this to her mother. Elvira's mother, furious, punished Agnes by brutally beating her and then confining her to the house as a maid. Elvira was secretly pleased as her biggest rival was now sidelined. Due to the tapeworm, Elvira began secretly overeating, getting extra food from Agnes, who perhaps unconsciously wanted Elvira to remain heavy. Months passed. The iron mask was removed, revealing a beautifully shaped nose. Elvira's surgery was a success and she looked more attractive. While Elvira prepared for the ceremony, Agnes was forced to work as a maid, even milking the cow herself. The surgeon then proceeded with Elvira's other surgeries. He inserted artificial eyelashes with threads and needles, leaving her eyes bandaged and making her look ghastly for days. Her breast surgery followed. The intense pain and procedures left Elvira extremely weak and suffering from an even more ravenous appetite. Agnes, against her mother's wishes, continued to bring Elvira food. Miss Sophie and her assistant were worried by Agnes's absence, as she was supposed to be the group's representative. Elvira's mother lied, claiming Agnes was too depressed over her father's death to participate. Consequently, Miss Sophie gave Agnes's coveted position to Elvira, whose appearance had vastly improved post-surgery. One night, while secretly delivering food, Agnes noticed Elvira's hair falling out in clumps. The tapeworm was not only keeping her slim but also consuming essential nutrients, leading to hair loss. Elvira's mother, thrilled that Elvira was now the opening performer, commissioned a magnificent new gown. Agnes arrived only to be mistreated by everyone out of envy for her natural beauty. The designer, noticing Elvira's thinning hair, created a wig to hide her increasing ugliness. Agnes decided she would attend the ball. She retrieved her mother's beautiful and expensive ball gown. Elvira, consumed by jealousy, tore the gown to shreds. Devastated, Agnes took the torn dress to her father's rotting body and wept, feeling trapped. In the ensuing light, the soul of her real mother appeared. Pitying her, she gave Agnes magical shoes and a warning reminiscent of Cinderella. The shoes would turn a pumpkin into a carriage and take her to the palace, but she had to leave before midnight or everything would revert. The one difference was Agnes was instructed to hide her face. Overjoyed, Agnes left, and the worms from her father's decaying body miraculously repaired her torn dress. The much anticipated night of the ball finally arrived. Elvira, now transformed and wearing her elegant gown, performed the opening dance. The entire crowd was captivated by her beauty, unaware of the pain and artifice behind it. When Prince Julian appeared, he immediately chose Elvira as his dance partner, ignoring all the other girls. Elvira was ecstatic. Everything was going according to her plan, and her mother was being fawned over by the kingdom's aristocrats. However, Elvira's triumph was short-lived. A beautiful girl wearing a mask and a stunning blue gown entered the ballroom, creating a magical aura that drew the attention of every guest. Mesmerized, the prince left Elvira mid-dance and was instantly drawn to the masked newcomer, beginning to dance with her. As the prince leaned close, the girl's mask slipped and Elvira instantly recognized her stepsister Agnes. Knowing Elvira would surely cause trouble, Agnes abruptly broke away and fled the palace. Prince Julian rushed after her, but Agnes continued to run. Just like in the tale of Cinderella, she lost one of her shoes on the grand staircase. The king retrieved the shoe and announced that it would be tried on every girl in the kingdom, and the one whose foot it perfectly fit would become the princess. A furious Elvira rushed home, certain that Agnes held the matching shoe. She attacked Agnes upon her arrival, violently beating her and tearing the shoe from her foot. Obsessed, Elvira tried to force the shoe onto her own foot but found it was far too small. The shoe was a magical object given by Agnes's mother and would only fit Agnes. In a moment of desperation and delusion, Elvira grabbed a large knife and severely cut off her toes in a gruesome attempt to make her foot fit the shoe. The immense pain caused her to pass out. Her mother and younger sister rushed to her side. The sister, pitying Elvira's extreme efforts and suffering to marry the prince, confessed to their mother that Elvira had cut the wrong foot. The shoe the prince possessed belonged to the other foot. Driven by greed and insanity, Elvira's mother seized the same knife and, while Elvira was still unconscious, callously cut the toes off her other foot as well. The younger sister was horrified, realizing her mother's boundless obsession with wealth could lead her to inflict such brutality on her own child. 2 days later, Elvira awoke to an announcement. Prince Julian was on his way to their house to try the shoe. In agonizing pain, Elvira tried to stand but was unable to walk. She fell off the bed and was forced to crawl. Attempting to descend the stairs, she lost her balance and tumbled down, badly injuring herself. Lying upside down, she saw Agnes standing there, now wearing the very gown Elvira had maliciously shredded, which was now more beautiful than ever. Prince Julian arrived and requested everyone to try the shoe. When Agnes put it on, it fit perfectly. Realizing she was the mysterious girl from the ball, the prince joyfully declared his intention to marry her and started to lead her away. Elvira began to cry hysterically, her body racked with pain and despair. All the suffering, the surgeries, the self-mutilation, all had been for nothing. Her younger sister, deeply distressed, quickly gave Elvira the antidote Miss Sophie had provided to kill the tapeworm. Elvira immediately began to vomit and the parasitic tapeworm was pulled out of her, instantly improving her condition. Realizing the profound and dangerous madness of her mother's greed, Elvira's sister dressed Elvira in thick clothes and urged her to flee with her. To save themselves from their mother's corrupting influence and to live a life free from such destructive ambitions, the two sisters abandoned the palace and their mother. The story concludes with the sisters running away, leaving behind the house, the pain and the madness, to forge a better life for themselves. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.